From the salt on your table and the tea in your cup, to the steel holding up your buildings, and even the luxury car you might dream of driving, there's one name that quietly connects it all: Tata. But this isn't just another company. It's a global empire that has literally helped shape the destiny of an entire nation.
But here's the real story, the one that's truly fascinating. It isn't just about how big they are, it's about how they built it. I mean, how does a family business from colonial India grow into one of the world's most respected conglomerates? Not by chasing profits, but by building an empire on the one currency you just can't buy: trust. So to really wrap our heads around the scale here, let's start with a number: $150 billion. Let that sink in for a second. To put that into perspective, that's bigger than the entire economy of many countries. This isn't just some big company, it's a global economic force, a massive network of businesses touching lives in over 100 nations. But you know what? That huge number isn't even the most important one. This one is. For years and years, Tata has been ranked as India's most trusted brand. And look at that chart, it's not even a close race. That huge gap you see, that's not just a statistic, that is the group's secret weapon, the very foundation their entire empire is built on. Today, we're going to unpack how they did it. To really understand how they earned that level of trust, we have to go way back to the founder, and a pretty radical idea that sparked a revolution. So let's dive in. Our story starts back in 1868 in colonial India. The founder, Jamshedji Tata, wasn't just trying to start another business. At a time when India's entire industrial future was in the hands of foreign powers, he had this incredible vision for something completely different, an India that was self-reliant, built by Indian hands for the Indian people. And this right here is the philosophy that would change everything. Just think about that quote for a minute. The community isn't just some stakeholder, it is the purpose of the business. From day one, the mission was crystal clear: build the nation first, and the profits will naturally follow. This wasn't some fancy marketing slogan, it was the actual operational blueprint for an empire. So how in the world do you turn a philosophy like that into actual steel, cars, and software? Well, you do it by building the pillars of a modern economy, one piece at a time. And they didn't just build companies, they built the very pillars of a modern nation. Tata Steel forged the literal backbone of India's infrastructure. Tata Motors didn't just sell cars, it put the dream of owning one within reach for millions of families. And Tata Consultancy Services, or TCS, didn't just hop on the IT revolution, it helped lead it, catapulting India onto the global tech stage. So after setting up these incredible pillars at home, Tata started looking outward. And this led to a series of moves, including the acquisition that completely changed how the world saw Indian companies. They went out and bought iconic global brands. We're talking about the British tea maker Tetley, the European steel giant Chorus, and then, in a move that shocked the world, the legendary British car brands Jaguar and Land Rover. And these weren't hostile takeovers, they were strategic moves designed to take Indian excellence to the world stage. Each one was a massive statement that an Indian company could not only compete globally, but could actually nurture and elevate these iconic brands with its own deep-seated sense of purpose. So, how did Tata manage to turn this idea of trust from a vague corporate value into the actual engine of its business? Well, the answer is hardwired right into their structure. And here's why the company's most important currency isn't money at all. Okay, this slide right here reveals the ultimate secret to the Tata model. A staggering 66%. 2/3 of the parent company is owned by philanthropic trusts. Just let that sink in. 2/3 of the profits from this $150 billion empire don't go to enrich a single family or a small group of shareholders. They're legally required to flow back into society, funding education, healthcare, and the arts for the very community the business was built to serve in the first place. This really puts the Tata model in stark contrast to how most businesses operate, right? Where most companies are built to maximize shareholder profit from one quarter to the next, Tata is literally hardwired for long-term community impact. The wealth they generate is systematically funneled right back into society. It's a completely different way of thinking. So what can we all learn from this incredible 150-year-old story? It's way more than just a history lesson. It's basically a playbook for how to build a business that lasts and actually means something. So what's in the playbook? First, lead with vision, not valuation. The Tata story proves that having a purpose beyond just making money can be an incredibly powerful driver of long-term success. Second, Your culture isn't a buzzword, it's your defense, your moat. In a world of ruthless competition, Tata's ethical foundation isn't a weakness, it's their absolute strongest competitive advantage. And third, social impact drives brand loyalty. They've shown that investing in your community isn't a cost. It's the most powerful way to build a brand that people will trust, literally for generations.
And that really leaves us with one final big thought. The Tata story proves that it is absolutely possible to build a massively successful global business on a foundation of trust and doing good for society. It challenges all of us to ask, what if more businesses focused on the legacy they're going to leave behind instead of just the profits of the next 3 months? What kind of world would that build? From the salt on your table and the tea in your cup